Yo, what's up guys, it's your girl Gigi Lamayne, aka and of course, welcome to another jam-packed episode of Offtrack with Gigi Lamayne. Now, this is going to be one of the most sentimental episodes, guys, to my heart, because I've invited one of my best friends. He is the influencer, he is the plug, he is everything you need to make it in hip-hop and more. Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome Rashid K. I was like, wait a minute, 250 pounds. How you doing?
I'm all good. How you doing?
I'm okay. I'm so happy because I don't have to act now, because I'm speaking to like somebody who knows me and who I know. So
of course,
I know it's going to be an absolute lit episode.
Yeah.
For anyone watching at home, who is Rashid K?
I think I'm just a hip hop guy, man. Like an all rounder.
Yeah.
I do hip hop. Like I produce hip hop on TV. I've done some shizness. Now I'm producing one mic on SABC One. I'm doing a hip hop show on Metro FM.
Yeah.
Back to the City, SA Hip Hop Awards. Anything that has to do with SA Hip Hop, I'm on.
You are that guy. I know. And I always say to anyone who knows me, if there's one person who fought for my dream more than anyone else in hip hop, it has to be you. Literally, from like people just taking me seriously, whether it was, remember that show Down the Road, you forgot you were actually a content producer for a certain battle show. Where I think Nadia, George, and somebody else I forgot were all judges.
Oh yeah, on YouTube.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So that was way back, but
yeah.
you were even plugging rappers into that kind of thing, and I like it's pretty weird, but I kind of know where your first TV appearance was, and I want to see if you still remember.
What, mine?
Yeah, like first time you're on TV and what you were doing. So people know that you're an OG. You didn't just come into this thing, okay? You went through it.
Yeah, I've been like hip hop all my life. Yeah, I remember like when I was 16, I was on Jam Heavy.
Ooh, yeah. Who was the presenter that time?
It was Nimrod Mkosi.
Mr. Losu. Okay.
Yes, and
Yeah, but it was that was the first time. And then obviously, as much as you're everything, I mean, you say hip hop, you speak about content production, but you also do music.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
And I know that you had dropped a very fire project recently. Would you like to tell us about that?
The album actually dropped last year.
Yeah.
It's called The K Word. It's available like all digital stores, iTunes, these and you know.
And if there's one song that represents it on the project, what would the song be?
I've Bring Back Our Land. Yeah, so
Can you tell us more?
I have it's straightforward, man.
Yeah.
It's addressing the issue at hand.
The land that was stolen.
Yeah.
Too many men.
Yes. So yeah, man. Like it's address. I'm always into that situation, addressing what's happening. There's a new song from my next project called Higher Learning. It's addressing the fees must fall and all that situation. So I'm not gonna be on the mic and talk about girls and champagne
and cars.
because there's a lot of issues that rappers are ignoring. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I'm that guy.
Yeah. So the reason why you were also brought onto the show is because I dropped an EP myself.
Yes.
And I heard that but apparently you did your preview, and I'll hear about it very soon in the future. But it's called Job Woods, and it's basically a project around the zero to hero status of anyone, right? So and I mean, I have chosen 3 songs of it that I feel speak to me when I speak to Rashid, right?
I bought it on iTunes.
People who buy music. And the songs that the Offtrack has selected for you, I mean, also kind of selected them, but really was up to them online. And your color today is the blue. So all you need to do, this is called the Spaz Ball. So we get a topic from them, we read about it, and we talk about it. So because it's the Job Woods edition, we're going to be talking about the song, but in relation to everything we're speaking about here today.
Okay.
So you need to pick the blue.
The blue. I thought my color was green. Oh, interesting. First song is Bossa. I remember this song because I was involved. You were busy. Hey, I haven't spoken to Questa.
He's pulling me out. So for anyone who wants to to know where I get all my features from. If I can't find someone, Rashid is like, you know, when you're going through a tough time and now you're just like, okay, I need to get on my knees and ask God. It's like, okay, once you failed, then you go to Rashid. Like, Rashid, can you please talk to Questa and make sure that, and literally, how long did it take to get that verse from Questa?
I don't remember, but it was like, you kept on, like, you were on my case, like.
But don't you think that's why I made it this far? Because I'm on people's cases? I feel like if I was just an artist who sat at home and smoked and just like chilled on the couch, nothing would move Rashid.
Yeah, exactly. That's true. It was the same thing.
Take it back.
No, it was the same thing with Youngster as well.
Right.
You know?
Yeah. On that, I was actually about to speak on breakout artists. What is the most difficult situation you've experienced where you're just like, you know what, that person deserves a shot in the industry, but nobody is fake? Because I've always felt like it was Youngster up until he dropped and I love his project. I love his album. Yeah, fun. I love him. And I've always felt like people just weren't giving him a chance. And when he was on, I was one of the biggest like changes. Yes.
I think he found himself. If you knew Youngster from day one, he had American accent. He sounded like yes.
Oh.
He used to rap like an American, you know, like these new kids are doing. He was on that tip until he discovered like, yo, I'm a Braino, I must represent the Cape Flats.
Yeah.
And then that's when like people started paying attention.
Yeah. You know it's funny because I was watching something, I was catching up on a certain show as well, and there was this woman and she was saying, and she's like, she's amazing, like she's one of the biggest influencers in this country, and she was saying how important it is to find who you are.
Yes.
Like as an artist. But then Rashid, I don't know, I always ask you this question. I feel like I always check in with this question, like where is South African hip hop as an identity, right? Because we do have people who are popping off really well who rap in English.
Yeah.
And then we have people who are vernacular, right? So we have the polarity. So we have Nasty C on the one end, we have a Zakwe on the other hand, then we have a Questa, like very leaning towards Zakwe, but not really, like middle, and then we have an AKA maybe who's between a Questa and a Nasty. Like, what is the formula right now? Because then also, a lot of people are now starting to do a lot of Afrobeat, right? Whether you're rapping or whatever, then does it not mean that I don't know, like, does it mean that hip hop is not moving? And that's why we find a Gigi rapping on a fufa?
Hip hop has always been moving. When it comes to identity, people make a mistake and think it's all about the language.
Yeah.
You know? It's mainly about the sound, and when it comes to South African hip-hop, we don't have our own sound. You can rap in vernac, but you still are using American beats. You know what I mean? We don't have a sound that's like uniquely South African.
But then what about that Skanda time? I feel like KO and Cash Time and them came out hard, like it's good, it's okay, then now you're super duping. Okay. Okay, alright. Alright.
That sound was cool when it came out, but like it started sounding the same, you know, because like I think people are not innovative enough, you know. Even with the beats, this trap thing, we've heard it. Nobody's coming with a new thing.
But then we have MT Rashid. MT created a whole identity, an African trap movement, and a lot of people, I find a lot of boys now trying to do that.
Yes.
And I always feel like he's the original GOAT. Like when it comes to African trap, how did it work for him then? Is it because he organized
it? It was Avery when he dropped his first album. It was something new.
Yeah.
But when you listen to MT's album, it sounds like a continuation, songs that were left over. Like this, he hasn't given us anything new. It's like that MT sound.
The Nasty. And I'm only talking about this because these are the new kids, okay?
Yes.
These are the new kids that we love and look up to,
Nasty is too dope, man. Like as a producer, as a writer, as a singer. But I think he's more international than South African.
And he is South African.
Yeah.
And it's also the era, I guess, that kids are living in because we're always on social media. That's kind of like the media.
The influence.
Consumption, right? That is I always feel like I was like trapped in the middle because you're like my brother's age group and then like they're younger people. I've always felt like I've had a bit of not like an identity crisis, but like being, I don't know, I relate to both. So sometimes it's really difficult for me to be completely like this or that. I feel like I stick within the gray, right? And I feel like there are artists like Aquesta who also like kind of stick in the gray. 5 years from now, if you were like, what would you wish for an artist like Aquesta? Because I think he's managed to balance it out well. I think he's definitely come from a zero to hero, you know, like Job Woods. I think he's the epitome, like the best example of a Job Woods. What would you think needs to be next?
That was gonna,
if he was watching
actually, that was gonna be my pick. You picked Youngster for.
Really?
I was gonna pick
look at that.
because it took him like 10 years to be noticed. He's always
he had that little situation, right? Like,
he dropped his first album or song in 2007.
Yeah.
You know, and he blew up 10 years later. Like the industry wasn't hearing him.
Yeah.
But he persisted. He persisted, and now boom, everybody's trying to sound like Ngudu.
Yeah, no, I get why you would have chosen Aquesta.
Yeah.
Then we come to one of my favorite topics, only because I'm within it, and because Holy Liquor actually speaks about it in one of the tracks that you have chosen.
Yes.
Holy Liquor is about the industry, how artists just can't be people, but actually can never be a person, okay? You're a radio DJ now, on a national radio station, one of the biggest in the country. It's impossible for you to be a normal person. I know you went through something very traumatizing. You got hijacked.
Yeah,
and
got hijacked.
It was very severe because I was one of the first people to find out, and I was so mad. And I remember you saying that one thing that got me.
You bought me a phone because we took every day.
Yeah.
You bought me a phone the next day.
Don't say that now. Other people. When bad things happen to them. Yeah, but you know, one of the things that traumatized me was about how they knew who you were. And it's almost like in that situation, you could not be afraid like the normal person. They were interacting with you differently because they knew who you were. Right? And I see that pattern. Of course, yours is a bit more drastic. But I see that pattern a lot with an AKA, with a Casper, with a Nadia and a Kat. It's almost like you can never be real.
Yeah.
Do you ever go through that? Like, apart from that, do you ever go through that where it's like Rashid's not allowed to have feelings, Rashid is just supposed to be perfect. If he's not perfect, then we're coming for him. Because I see the way you handle people on the timeline. I don't know how you do it, but do you get those moments?
Yeah, I do, man. Like, as a public figure, you suppose you expected to interact and act in a certain way. That's why DJ Fresh got fired. Because somebody...
I agree. I think you and Fresh have got a bit of a... But we'll talk about it.
You know, because a person spoke to him in a certain way, and when he retaliated, like, hey, you can't talk like that. Hey, apologize. And nobody said anything to the listener, you know?
True.
You know what I'm saying?
Never any repercussions for them, but with us it goes into some
you know what I mean? Because you'd say something on Twitter and it becomes a newspaper article. No, just one tweet.
Yeah, just definitely. No, trust me, I know this. And when it comes to one of my favorite topics as well, the record labels. You know, we're speaking about all these artists who have come out of difficult situations. I understand the fans. I understand people who don't really need much. But record labels right now, do you think independent record labels have a spot in the South African industry at this point that is viable for the artist?
I really don't think so. You know, to a certain degree. You know what I mean? To a certain degree, I don't think record labels are necessary.
Oh wow.
You know,
okay.
Because there's music is not sold on CDs anymore. You know, and digital distribution is the easiest thing. If you can get yourself PR and a distributor, you sort it. You know what I mean? Like, have some, you can spend $100 boosting on social media, Facebook or whatever, you know, because they can do the same. They can pay $100 to boost your post, and then they'll tell you they spent 10,000.
I know, like literally.
You know what I mean?
In the studio and you open the fridge, they'll be like, you took that amount. If you go with the car down the road because you thought you could get to the PR, whatever, they're gonna charge you for that. Like every little thing they charge you for, right?
You know what I mean? So on the flip side, it's very hard to be independent if you don't have the budget.
Yeah.
Because you need money to book the studio.
Sampling, studio, marketing,
mixing, mastering everything is an
like
expense. You know what I mean? Everything is an expense. But it's worth it. You need to invest in yourself and invest in your craft.
So now, Rashid, an absolute answer, I'm sure that doesn't exist. If you were to pick, just be honest with the person you are. Independent or signing?
Independent.
Great. What is the most dramatic separation you've witnessed when it's come to an art, with an artist and a label, and how differently could it have been executed from both ends? I'll tell you mine. Zola and Motherland. Wow, that was crazy. Zola had shows about like helping the community, and Zola was that guy. And I don't know, it's almost as if the minute the record label cuts you off, you fizzle into nothingness.
Yeah.
And that
record labels.
I've heard people saying, I'm gonna close the tap on you.
Record labels are shady because, like, if we're both eating and you decide to leave me as a label, and then I'm gonna be spiteful and we're not gonna eat. No, if I don't eat, nobody's gonna eat. That's why a lot of artists struggle after the separation. Fifi Cooper and Ambitious, Zola and Ghetto Rough.
Ghetto Rough, sorry, it wasn't Motherland.
Yeah, it was Ghetto Rough.
Don't sue me.
And Zahara and TX as well, I think mainly it's caused by artists not understanding.
Yeah.
You see, when they come into the industry, they're hungry, so they don't care about contracts.
Yeah.
Later on, when they discover their worth, they're like, hold on, what's going on here? We saw it recently with MT, because when they started, they were hungry, they were down for whatever, like, give me whatever, I'm hungry, I just want to do music.
That is so true.
Yes.
That is so true. And I mean, with that, I think comes a lot of, I can't imagine what MC goes through. I know he's really like a really strong person, but I can't imagine what he goes through. Like, I wish him all the best, because I think that is not a talent that just comes by. And every time I speak to people, everyone's just like, I'm fan up an MC, I
also hope he makes it, because judging from history, most of the artists who separated with their labels, not in a nice way, they don't make it after that.
Also, I was going to say, I think it's very important that we understand that even with the labels, guys, there's money that they put into you, there's stuff that they put into you, and at the end of the day, they're running a business. So it's also super important that the way you started something is the way you finish it as an artist. I found that the reason why my moves can be swiftly made is because I've always respected the label. Trust me, the boardroom was probably more heated, but I've always respected the label when it's come to public opinion.
And the thing is, the public and the fans will always take the artist's side, but no artist has ever won in court. They say so and so owes me 10 million, so and so did this and that, but prove it.
You know what I'm saying? Prove it. And also just learn about the business of music, guys. Learn about the business of music. Right, something else that's been bothering me, Rashid, and I just need to let it out. It's not you, but I just know you and we skinner a lot. I don't want to say skinner, but every time there's a problem, I call you, bruh, did you hear? But there was this stupid ass list that somebody put out about their top 50 rappers.
Yes.
I obviously wasn't there because I'm not the person's fave. But what was your take on that list? Because I know after that you went and you did your own list. And I think I'm being biased because my name was on that other list, but I think I work hard, you know? And just because I'm not your friend every day, or just because I don't collaborate with your artist, doesn't mean you have to swindle me, sideways.
No, I actually think people took it serious. I think he was joking.
I really hope.
Why would you put Zwaibala on a rap list?
Was Zwaibala on that rap list?
Yes.
No ways, guys, no ways.
He even trended. I think that guy was joking with that list.
How dare you though?
You know what I mean? So
I didn't know.
Yeah, so I put up my own top 50.
And yours got the most love.
Yes.
Shout out.
Because mine was real.
Because yours was real.
Yeah.
And Rashid's always right. R for Rashid, R for right.
Because I know when it comes to SA hip hop, nobody knows it better than me. That's why I'm working.
Facts.
Yes. I don't care who you are. Nobody knows SA hip hop.
To any off-tracker out there who wants to challenge Rashid, come on to our show. If you're like
challenge me with what?
We're everything hip hop.
Listen, we're building South African hip hop museum. What are you gonna challenge me with?
All right, Rashid. So there's this round table every day. I mean, not every day, every year that happens. And I guess it's like a group of people. If they don't like you, they're not going to put you on the list. If they like you, they're going to put you on the list. And I know you were there before.
Yeah.
And you know, it's almost like, you know, Rashid can never have friends because, wow, like, if you find out that Rashid and Gigi are friends and then Rashid says Gigi, it's like, you're only going to say because Gigi's your person.
No,
it's never about, like, you actually putting the work in. Despite the fact that those people have their own friends as well, right? But what is your take on 6 people sitting around the table deciding what's good with hip hop?
It's not even. Let me, because I've been.
Yes, you've been there.
For a couple of years, I've been on the panel. Yeah. Let me tell you, it's not even about 6 people on the round table.
Yeah.
The main problem is the criteria.
Right.
If I'm creating a criteria.
Yeah.
And Gigi's my friend, I'm gonna list all the things that favors Gigi, that's gonna make sure that Gigi is in.
Yeah.
So they give us their own criteria. How do I judge a rapper out of a dance style and a fashion sense and endorsements?
Yes.
And you say the hottest MC. What's that got to do with MC?
I think they need to even change that. I don't know, like hottest rappers.
Yes.
Doing it big or making it big.
Yes. Every year I complain about the criteria. This criteria is trash. You know, because now whoever has more endorsements is gonna be on the list.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Whoever has a clothing label or whatever style is gonna be.
Or whoever invites you to the biggest party with the most champagne that year.
You know what I mean? So
yeah.
When you go there as a panelist, you must oblige to the criteria.
Yeah.
Okay, what dance move has Gigi created? And then you you know what I mean? So I think it's shady.
It's shady.
Yeah.
All right, and I know everyone is.
I actually wrote an article on the criteria to judge an MC.
Okay.
It's online. You can Google it. It's there.
Go
I think
Google
they
it,
should
the
use
criteria
that.
to judge an MC.
Yes.
You guys need to go Google that.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure everyone is like talking. I mean, everyone's just like, okay, this guy, he's pretty good, guys. Rashid spits knowledge. I know how he is. Is Rashid a plug or a gatekeeper? Be honest. Be honest, because Rashid, you don't know how many calls I get from people wanting your number. Like, yo, Rashid, man, I need Rashid to manage me. I need to put my stuff on radio, man. I don't
manage artists. I tell them the last artist I managed was Gigi Lamayne.
And I was a lot. And you quit.
No, it's not. The problem is not the artist.
Yeah.
It's the gatekeepers and everything. You must be able to bag and kiss ass.
And he can't do that.
I can't do that. I can't call you 5 times a day about the same thing. Did you get Gigi's song? Did you get Gigi's song? No.
Please. Rude.
Yes.
Yeah, but you're right.
Yes, because these people, and when you meet them at the club on a weekend, they think you're gonna talk about that. You're there to party, like, I'm gonna reply. No, I'm not here for that. Yeah, because now they're feeling guilty.
Because now they're feeling guilty because they're saying.
You know what I mean? So,
and I mean, you've always been somebody who's very vocal. Like Rashid, you don't make a noise. You disrupt the timeline. Like if there's something you say, trust me, people are going to like screen grab it, put it on their statuses. Oh my gosh, like this is like a holy scripture now, right? Being Rashid, what is the latest tour you've had? I'm gonna take it there. What is the latest? You don't have to tell us who the person was, but when you're just like, actually, this person doesn't know what they're talking about. Because your fighting points are prolific. I just want to be you're absolutely amazing.
Okay, let me tell you, it was not a tour. Let me tell you what I posted. I think it was 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I said, because people always complaining, hey, there's new kids. No, it's always the same people every year. Yeah. So I posted. I said, AKA Casper, Questa, MT, Nasty C didn't drop in 2019. Newcomers, where are you? Who's taking advantage of that? You know, because all of them, the top 5, they didn't drop this year. Who who came up and said, I'm snatching.
That is a very good question.
And said, I'm snatching that spot. They're gonna come back next year. It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna be even harder to make it as a new artist.
Yeah.
2019 was their year. The top 5 didn't drop. You were like, you don't know so and so. What's happening?
What's happening?
Yeah.
Would you a Drake character, because Drake does a bit of like Afrobeat sometimes, and you know, and I'm going into the space myself now where I want to be genreless, but my DNA is still hip hop, so I still do hip hop when I drop projects.
Yeah.
But how do you view that kind of thing? Because then there's an artist I remember speaking about who's a rapper, but they're only doing like shaku stuff, and we don't mind it. But is there a way of balancing it? And how? And are you even for it?
I think as a hip hop artist, you can do whatever musically, as long as you're not gonna lose your hip hopness. You know what I mean? You can. It's been done over and over again before in history. Like you've had rappers doing dancehall songs, you had rappers doing R&B songs, you had rappers, even Jay-Z doing rock songs. You know what I mean?
Lil Wayne had the
but it didn't take away their hip hopness. So I'm saying if you can do a gum song, do a gum song. You know, if you can do a Mapiano song, do a Mapiano song, but don't give us an album.
Noted. I need to go back to the studio and make sure she don't get tired. All right. And I think the last question, because you're somebody who has really helped the industry grow, you know, with the females. And just to put it on record, just because somebody's managing you doesn't mean they're smashing you. Rashid and I in the same room now, we are tired of the smash allegations. Can you stop? I work really hard. Rashid also works really, really hard. Just because a female is getting managed by a guy does not mean he's eating her. Can we stop this thing, right? There are actually men who support the girl boss movement and everything that happens after. And I'm sure, like I've heard of girls who are right now managed by their boyfriends, right? But I feel like there's a certain level of maturity, but I don't think it's about that, like, and him hustling for the, you know what I'm saying? I honestly do feel these are talented young women, right? But have you, okay, you have been at the hands of it, I already know, I can even answer it for you. Rashid is smashing Gigi, oh my gosh. You know, so many people like are always like, you can never, Nadia is smashing good. It's not like Nadia cannot work hard without people thinking that she's having something with Casper.
If it's not that, he's writing rhymes for you.
Yeah, he's either writing rhymes for you or he's riding you down the Old Town Road.
Yeah.
And I'm tired, like I'm honestly tired because I think females work really hard.
Yeah.
But then on the flip side, there are men who take advantage of women like that, right?
Yeah.
In our industry. Well, do you agree or don't you agree? Because I heard of a young man who had a record label once and he had a whole lot of female artists and he was the king of that.
Obviously that happens,
yeah.
You know, but it doesn't mean that those who made it, they made it through that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And even if they do, some of them are dating. Like,
yeah.
Some,
like a Numuzi and a Spuda, and that's working absolutely amazingly.
Yes.
But that is totally different to what because she's amazing, right?
Yes.
She still does what she needs to do. So I don't know why it's like a thing when a girl dates a guy, and even like managers and then dates, there's always an excuse for that. But if a man was doing the same thing and his girlfriend was his manager, it wouldn't be a big deal.
It's usually done by the gatekeepers. I'm the plug, I'm not the gatekeeper.
Okay.
You know,
for the record.
Yes, I'm the plug. No. I put people on.
Yeah.
You know, like I've helped a lot of people in the industry.
I know.
You know what I'm saying?
Myself included.
Yourself included. You know what I mean? So the gatekeepers, the ones who feel like they're holding the keys to the industry, they'll tell you, do this for me, I'll do this for you. Yeah. You know, so it is true, it is happening, but it's not the case with everyone.
Yeah, it's not the case. I just believe in like you're kicking down the door. Okay, some cool questions. Your favorite SA rapper at the moment?
My favorite SA rapper at the moment is Alice.
The young boy doing things.
Yes.
Okay, why?
He's got skills.
Yeah.
He has no big budget backing him, but he's making his
organic.
Organic, and he's making it's just music.
Yeah.
No stunts, no hype, no publicity stunts. It's just music.
Yeah. Yo, the wackest rapper at the moment.
The wackest rapper at the moment has to be.
No. I thought you were going to say
Nah. But I don't.
Okay, don't say a name, but just say what they're doing wrong. Just say like what they're doing wrong. You don't have to say a name.
Okay.
Just be like,
listen to my theory. I don't believe in the whole thing of so and so is whack.
Okay.
You know, if I don't feel you, there's 10,000 people who are
might
feeling
feel you too.
You know what I mean? Sometimes you could be dope and I can't relate to your content. You know. Like Eminem, for example, Eminem is a dope rapper.
But you don't like it?
But I don't like the drug content, bashing your wife, bashing your mom. I can't relate to that. The rhyme scheme and the flows are amazing. But
you wouldn't put him on your
you know what I mean?
Okay.
Sometimes it could be dope, but you're not for me.
Yeah. Okay. And if you were to be stuck in a lift with one of these two women, who would it be? Babe Sotumo or Sodoban? They're both girl bosses. They're amazing.
They're girl bosses.
And I feel like you have a lit conversation with both of them, like a very good.
I wish you had given me brains.
Your favorite radio station at the moment?
Metro FM. The coolest radio station, voted 7 times.
Oh my
7 years in a row.
Listen, we're not here for this. Favorite album right now?
Favorite album? I'm not gonna mention yours, but I have to say.
And is it because it's not an album? It's just a project. The album's dropping in May. Also.
Things Take Time by Youngster.
Definitely, I agree. Youngster. Okay, and if there is a girl boss in your life, whether a mother, a sister, a girlfriend, a friend, or just any female off-tracker who's watching right now, please could you give them a very lit message from a man who supports young females like me in the movement? What would you say to them at home?
I think there's a lot of female bosses doing big things.
Yeah.
My favorite is Vasetsana Kumalo. You know what I mean? Even though she's not on TV every day, she's not on social media every day, but she's doing amazing things, man. She has a production company, she has a couple of shows on TV, and a lot of people don't know, but there's a lot of women doing amazing things. You know, I see you getting there. There's a Bonang doing big things, you know what I mean? So I think it's possible, and it's time for girls and women to do their own things.
And thank you for doing that for us. For many people, they don't even understand. Rashid goes above and beyond for women and our voices, and you're unapologetic. There's something really hectic with me that happened, and you weren't afraid to stand there publicly and be like, no guys.
Yeah, even on radio this month, I've been bringing females on.
I know, and I was so happy when I saw 3 female rappers, right?
Yes.
And they were absolutely amazing, and you're absolutely amazing. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
Where can our off-trackers link up with you on socials?
Rashid_K, like this.
Oh, Rashid
everywhere. Just
everywhere.
Rashid K, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Mr. Rashid.
And I mean special things happening. I know you're one of the organizers of the South African Hip Hop Awards that's coming up very soon. I don't know, have you guys set a date for that?
Yeah, on the 20th of November, SA Hip Hop Awards going down.
Yeah, so you guys have pushed it forward again?
Yes, because they're gonna be on SABC1 and they wanna add the awards on the 1st of December.
Nice,
so,
instead of the 30th. Oh,
yeah, so
great job, guys.
So we had to do it earlier.
Yeah, so I hope you guys will get Girl Boss in there to also come through and like share it.
We're also launching SA Hip Hop Awards. Yeah. SA Hip Hop Museum in December.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be on that docu where you guys speak about it. So that makes me feel amazing. Thank you so much, Rashid. You're such an honor. Thank you so much for supporting me, for supporting, a whole movement of young people who are just really trying to shift and change. Well, okay, thank you so much for joining us. You better call us to the South African Hip Hop Awards. We want to be there and celebrate as girl bosses. So you guys must start recognizing us.
You must request me.
We will, trust me. And thank you so much for coming through to the Gigi Gang show. People don't even know you're one of the main hosts at the show. The first one-woman show in hip-hop history in Africa, okay? And you were there to really like build and push with me. And yeah, I love you so much. Thank you for joining us. And thank you to all my off-trackers. Don't forget to follow us at Offtrack ZA on Instagram, Twitter, at Offtrack ZA on Facebook, at Gigi_Lamayne. It's been an amazing one, guys. Tune in to the next episode. It's going to be lit because this time we have a lady who's got buzz. Yes.